I think you're the only builder in Oklahoma that has this distinction.
For the FIAS Passive House Certified Builder, I am the only one in the state of Oklahoma that has that.
If you're thinking about making that move to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and you're wanting new construction, or you're looking to build custom new construction, you want to know about the best builders in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area. And today we are with the amazing Ryan and Tabitha Faribault, and they are one of the top Tulsa luxury custom builders. And we are going to dive in and learn all about their process, all about what makes them different, and get to know them. So Ryan, you have a big distinction in the Oklahoma custom building and a certification that most other builders, I think you're the only builder in Oklahoma that has this distinction.
Well, for the FIAS Passive House Certified Builder, I am the only one in the state of Oklahoma that has that. I've always just tried to focus a lot on continuing education, building science, and how we can build a better product given the same materials that other builders and people have to work with. So that's kind of been one of the things I've focused on for the last 20 years of doing it.
Okay, so tell me that word, is it initials? Tell me again what that is. FS?
It actually starts with P. It stands for Passive House International, and that's just a standard of building that originated actually in Europe, where they have even tighter energy codes than we do here in America, and then has come here and mostly taken hold in the coast, Seattle, Oregon, and then on the East Coast as well. You see it more in commercial construction because they have a lot of budget to incorporate these things. But we found in the higher end custom homes, we can actually bring a lot of those same features into the homes to integrate them to get our buyers the same benefits without having the full expenditure that they do on the commercial side.
And you've been doing that for, you said 20 something years?
Well, my focus on the educational side of it and building science. The FIAS stuff, the passive house building started probably more 10, 12 years ago.
And what got that on your radar?
It was one of the things I learned about at one of the conferences I go to. Like I said, I focus on a lot of the education. So I'm on the board of directors at the National Home Builders Association. I'm actually a graduate master builder through them as well. So I attend different seminars they have, and you meet people that are in other groups. So a lot of networking, and then you learn about new technologies that are coming out, new products that are coming out. And so that's kind of how I found out about the standard and got connected with some of the people that were championing it in the United States. And so went to the seminars and educational process through them.
I want to ask you a lot more questions about that, but before I do, I want to bring in Tabitha. And you guys are a team, and you're a very dynamic team. Tell me the story of how you guys started working together, how your role comes in. Let's talk a little bit about Tabitha.
I started in the real estate business in my early 20s. So almost, we'll say 26 years now. And when I met Ryan, he was already a builder, and I'm a real estate broker owner. I own a few real estate companies. So right when I met him, it was just instant love. And I just started helping him immediately. I love doing a lot of the selections. That's my passion.
So you guys as a team, and good job on pulling her in.
She's a keeper.
Yes. Oh. But so you guys as a team, how does that work? So if a lot of the viewers that are watching this are just becoming familiar with Tulsa, they're starting to think about custom building, and we always tell people, and a lot of people don't know this, once you pick a builder and you start, you're basically married to that builder for 6 months, a year, sometimes longer. And so having the right builder just will make it a great process. New construction custom can be a little, you can get frazzled at times, and it's not always easy. But when you have a builder who is on your side, who wants the best, that has good processes, that has a good design, it just makes all the difference. And I was actually Googling top Tulsa builders, top luxury builders, and I definitely not naming names, but there were a couple on the list. I was like, oh my goodness, I would never refer them to. So I always stress to clients how important it is to be with a builder that you can trust, that's in your corner, that gives you a good product, and that is definitely you guys.
Oh, thank you.
I think a lot of it's not just the product, which we do pride ourselves on delivering a high-end luxury home, but looking at the experience of it as well. Like you said, for building, some people can be really a stressful experience because every decision you're making along the way is a high dollar thing. If people are buying a car, they'll stress out about spending $40,000 or $50,000 at a time. And heck, we're asking them to make $40,000 or $50,000 decisions over the course of it, or some more than that. Your window package, your appliance package. There's things that people want to customize, and they're all high dollar items. So being able to go over all those, communicate it, guide them through the process, so they don't feel overwhelmed with, oh my gosh, I have to do 5 million things and I got to have them all done by tomorrow. Well, no, you don't. Like you said, it's a process depending on the scale of the house. You're going to be working with these people for months at a time. So creating that level of comfort and relationship with them in the beginning, and then just keeping that communication open as you go through the process, really can make it actually, I think it's a fun process. I think most of our clients enjoy it as they go through building.
I've been on both sides. It's been fun and super exciting, and then it's been just a nightmare. And that's where learning and being in the business, having the experience, just really makes a difference. So what does that process like? Guide us through what it would look like somebody starting, thinking about custom and reaching out to you guys. What does that look like with you guys?
Sometimes it starts both ways. Like Tabitha said, she's a real estate broker. So some people approach her first and are looking for a builder. Some people are Googling builders and they find me, or they've seen our parade of homes or different things we have out there online, Facebook, whatever, and approach me. But either way, the process, kind of one of the initial things they need is, we need to know where they're going to build, because we'll be working with our design team to custom design the home, not just based on what they want, but where they're building. The terrain matters. We even try to take into things like, which way does it face? Is there natural elements that, is there a pond here? Is there a view this direction? Is there too much sun exposure this way? Can we change that with soffits to make the house more efficient? There's a lot of design features that go into depending on the actual site itself. So knowing the site, whether in a neighborhood or out on land, is one of the first considerations. And
a lot that people don't take into account, that some builders might not take into account, and especially sometimes you just get new ones or that don't have very much experience. And as a buyer, as a custom client, you don't necessarily know what you don't know. So you might not think about, I need to think about which way the sun faces or the feature. And for you, like you said, to be able to know that and point it out and guide them in a way and offer suggestions.
I've had clients come to me sometimes too late. Oh, I just bought this lot for $60,000 and it's 3 acres and it's fantastic and it's treed, and I'll go out and look at it. But where they want to put the house has a 40-foot drop off. They're going to spend over $100,000 just getting to a pad that they can build on. And they didn't even realize that. So a lot of times we'll meet with people, help them find land. Tabitha will search land that's available, try to help people. Understanding their budget and the site is kind of step one before we get into the actual plan design phase.
And would you say that is probably the number one oops or the number one mistake that you make, is buying land that isn't buildable or is going to cost a lot more money than you thought?
It's probably one of the first ones they can make, for sure.
Not educated or represented by a realtor that knows.
Well, because you can get land that you can't get access to water, or what's underneath it, or like you said, $100,000 in dirt work right off the bat. And
yeah, over the years we've hit quite a few of those, and there's usually a workaround, but it's not necessarily cheap. And so if a customer is on a set budget, that's going to be a surprise they weren't expecting or didn't want to have.
You've always been able to pull through and figure it out.
You've had that experience, and you've got the expertise to be able to figure it out. So your recommendation would be to talk to a real estate agent, talk to and bring out the builder, the right builder, to be able to say, is this land, should you purchase this land?
Yeah, I think when people are looking at a custom home and wanting to build a luxury home that's a higher end home, some people look at it as buying like a used car, and they're comparing bids or looking at price, and that's really not the way that people should be interviewing a builder. They need to be looking at the quality of the home that they're getting. They look at the builder's past work. You can see our stuff is online, Parade of Homes wins, all that kind of stuff, and look at that. But in that smaller subset of capable builders, because there's a handful of builders that can do a decent job in town, I think that what you need to be looking at is how well do you get along with them? What's the relationship like? What's the communication like? Because that's going to be a key element as you go forwards. I mean, I'd like to think that of that subset of builders, I do have those extra certifications and things that we do a little bit differently, but all of us have our own specialty. So if that's a good fit, then that's kind of where you could look at the relationship and the other aspects of how well will you get along and communicate. We are a personal service team. Everyone's got our cell phones. It's not like, oh, email the office. Somebody may get back to you. Don't call me, call this superintendent or call the site manager who's then going to call the superintendent. All of our clients have direct access. They can call, text, email, get a hold of us, and it just makes the process go a lot more smoothly.
Yeah, that really is a big deal when you have that, when you can have that one-on-one communication with the builder. It can make
Yes, all the difference too. And even depending on the size of the house, some builders, they say it takes 8 to 10 months, but some of the bigger houses that Ryan builds, it's a year, it's over a year. Yeah. Sometimes they're big. That 26,000 square foot one.
That one took a little over 2 years, about 3 actually, but yeah.
And work together. And Ryan, I mean, I may be biased as he's my husband, and I work with all builders as I need to, but I say Corinthians. He's a lot like Corinthians. He's slow to anger. He's very calm, kind.
Thanks, baby.
Before we talk about more of the process, let's talk about what you build. So a 26,000 square foot house, so you can build anything. What's your sweet spot? What do people come to you for?
I think that changes over time. There was a time, probably the 2010s to maybe 2000, actually probably 2005 to 2012, people were building a lot larger houses. We probably did a lot more 8 to 12,000 foot houses in that time frame than we're doing right now, because I think people realized we don't necessarily need that much space. So they may build something in that 5 to 6,000 foot range that has a lot of the same details, things dialed up. But you don't necessarily need 3 different living rooms, 2 game rooms, a bowling alley. I think people used to, and we've done it. I've had AMF come out, professional bowling pin setters, all that. And that's a lot of fun to do. But I think as time evolved and people have gone through some of the market changes, they realize that I don't necessarily need a 20,000 foot monument to myself. What's more practical and what's more efficient? And so some of those have changed over the years. I mean, I'm happy you want to build 18,000 foot, let's go. But I think the sweet spot right now, I think most people are doing 5,000, 6,000 square foot and then just really decking it out. Yeah, I mean, we're getting ready to start one now for a doctor, and it's 7,000 foot. So
71, 72.
So there's a variation in it, but I'd say the trend is usually in the space as efficiently as possible, not building a lot of wasted rooms. It's cool to say you have it, but you probably didn't really need it. So that's been a change I think we've seen over the last 10 years.
So when people come in, how do you help them? How do you help bring their vision to life? What does that look like?
Usually it's a lot of having a conversation with them, asking them, what do you need? How big's your family? How do you live in the home? Because everyone lives in their home differently. I built a house, actually probably was an 8,500 foot home, super nice kitchen, secondary kitchen, and these people don't cook. We've got 100,000 in the kitchen and they don't use it. And so it's a lot of times how do you want to live in the home? Where do you spend your time? How does your family utilize the space?
Important to you.
Yeah, because we've built tons of theater rooms, and then a lot of times people are like, we don't ever go upstairs when the kids aren't in town. So it's a waste to have it up there. So we move it to the first floor, or maybe we just put surround sound in the living room, or it's trying to figure out what their concept of it is. And the more pictures and designs and stuff that they have that they can bring in, we can incorporate in the design phase to really maximize the space they're paying for.
Yes. All their inspiration photos help. Just sitting down and talking to them, figuring out what's important to you. I think most of the people that find Ryan and choose Ryan, what sets him apart from a lot of the other builders is the way he builds the high performance homes, like the 2x6 exterior, all that. Those people, they care about the energy efficiency. They want to save money on their utilities. They care.
Yeah, talking about the 2x6s and the energy efficiency, what does that look like as far as how it levels up the build and your cost savings and how you live?
Sure. That's a loaded question because there's a lot to unpack. There's a lot there to unpack. because a lot of builders out there will say, oh yeah, we can use 2x6 walls, or we'll use the Huber zip system exterior, or we'll use high efficiency windows, or maybe we'll put in Energy Star appliances, or there's a lot of different components. And that's where some of the certifications I have and the training that we've done is how do you systemize it? And that's where I created the high performance home package that we offer our clients, because it's not just picking and choose. It's not a cafeteria style. It's how does this affect that? A lot of builders, the old rule of thumb was every 500 square feet equals a ton of cooling. So if you built a 2,500 square foot house, you got a 5-ton air conditioner. And there's still HVAC guys out there sizing things that way. And the reality is, when we do a foam encapsulated house, properly ventilated, and you run your manual J, manual D, manual S calculations to size your HVAC systems, as well as to ensure you have the right CFMs of airflow going to each room, that rule of thumb doesn't apply. You can do a lot more square footage off 5 tons, and you want to, because that controlled ventilation is key. So we actually start the process way before even we pour the concrete. We use a sealed vapor barrier system under the slab, control ground source moisture or radon or methane gas from ever being able to get into the home. We have engineered slabs we use. Of course, like she mentioned, we do all the 2x6 exterior walls. Deal. That's standard
Especially
on all
Oklahoma,
our homes.
with those tornadoes. Stronger house.
It's more than just the 2x6, because we actually frame in a different way. We use what's called OVE, engineered style framing. So we try to minimize thermal bridging through our wall structure. Whether a lot of builders just take the 2x12 concrete forms, sandwich them together with a piece of wafer board, that's your window and door header. And what people don't realize is wood has an R value of about 1.3 per inch. So above every window and door, you have 2.6 R.
What's R value for?
So R value is a rating of the thermal energy transmission between the house. So old traditional fiberglass insulation that everyone's familiar with for a 2x4 wall is rated to R13. And in our energy area here, in this climate zone, R13 is code minimum. So when people sandwich that wafer board in between two 2x12s and you have 2.6, that doesn't even meet the code minimum of what you need for proper insulation of a house. It'll pass code because it's structurally required, so that gets you an exemption, but it doesn't help you. And so if you shoot a traditionally framed house at night with a thermal camera, you're going to see hot and cold spots above every window and door where that energy is just transferring right through, because not only is there no insulation there, but you have created a thermal bridge. So you have continuous materials from the inside of the home to the exterior, and that energy will go right through.
It's amazing to see, too. You have a few of the videos on your website to see the heat that escapes from the home.
If you actually create that open box engineered header system that we use, then we fill that with foam insulation. So you shoot one of our houses at night with a thermal camera, you don't see those hot and cold spots. Everyone's been in a house where if you go by a window or go to one side of the house, it's cold and the other side's hot, or you're running the AC at night because your bedroom's too hot but the living room's cold. And it's because you're having that energy loss and transmission through windows, doors, framing. And so we try to minimize that just in the structure before we even put the insulation in.
And it's really quiet, too. If you ever notice, like when you go in, it's so quiet.
I had to pay attention. I mean, I love your homes. I'm going to pay attention to the quietness and walk around and feel the difference. But all that is impressive. It's a lot of, probably a lot of Greek to a lot of people, but to know that you can just spout it off like it's nothing, like ordering, McDonald's or something, you're like R value, CS2, that's a lot. But to have a builder that knows all that is thinking that much about your comfort, about how you live, about
saving money for utilities. It's a European way of building, would you say?
Well, it's one of those things that I don't think it should be that surprising. If you're hiring a high-end luxury home builder, that you kind of should expect them to know those kind of things, because that's what you're paying for. I mean, I'm not a production builder. I'm not going to build 50 houses a year. I'm going to focus individualized attention to try to make their home their dream. And I don't need to know how to do surgery. If I'm building for a surgeon, he might be the top neurosurgeon in his field. He's going to know way more things about that than I ever would. And the same thing, he's hiring me as an expert in the building industry. So I need to know about these things and show him how it helps him, but he doesn't need to know the building science behind these things.
But it is impressive. When I first, 15 years ago, when I would try to even start explaining, I look at some of those certificates he has back there, GMP, what is that? And Master Builder, Passive, and I would just actually show them some of the certificates. Over the years, 15 plus years now, I've figured it out. But it is impressive to people like us that aren't familiar with that. And even the people that come in, they're amazed by just the way he builds. It's a completely different way of building. He's the only double green certified in that way of building in the state of Oklahoma that I know of.
And I imagine, again, it's about, at that level of lifestyle, yes, we want to save money, but it's also about comfort and about how you live. And we look at houses and we're like, oh, we see all the pretty things. That's what impresses you. But the stuff behind the walls, the stuff that you're going in, the barrier underneath.
Men love those things. They love all those things.
Well, it's one of those, there's certain things you can upgrade in a home later. Yeah, you can always change the cabinets, repaint, change granite, change tile.
Lighting
but the
fixtures.
actual structure of the home, the efficiency that's built into it, you can't really change. So we try to focus on getting as much of that in as the clients want up front, so that they do experience that. Because like you said, it's not just the flashy stuff, but the comfort of the home. And when you do build the way that we try to do, it increases not only how you are comfortable in the home, because a lot of people don't realize, they look at what's the temperature in the home. But the way that humans actually feel comfortable is a mix of the actual humidity, the relative humidity, and the temperature. And so one year I built a parade house, I actually set the temperature like at 85. And in middle of June, it's hot out, and no one came in and realized that, because we were controlling the humidity and everything else, still made the house feel comfortable, and they didn't even realize we had the air set that high. And so people don't realize that. They're like, oh, I got to set my AC to 72 to be comfortable. But it's multiple factors that actually bring in that comfort level in the home.
I've never heard that before.
So yeah, and people don't think that. The other thing people don't realize is like indoor air quality, because the old way of thinking, people used to, we want the house to breathe. Well, no, you want a house to be properly ventilated, but you don't want the house to breathe, because on a windy day, you have all kinds of pollen and mold blowing in the house. On a still day, you don't have any ventilation. So you actually want 3 complete air exchanges in a home with every hour. And our homes are so tightly constructed between the zip and all the other systems, our drainage planes, the foam insulation. We get down to, if you actually test it with a blower door system, 0.03 air exchanges per hour. So it's a very tightly constructed home. Then to have proper mechanical ventilation, that's where you have to have your HVAC design done correctly, and have fresh air intakes and ERV systems that actually bring in, precondition, and exchange the air in the home. So you have continual fresh air that feels good, that's filtered and temperature controlled, so you can actually have that cleaner indoor air quality in the home.
And that's not standard. That's not something that.
It is for us. But
Yes, for you guys.
It's definitely
not.
All the difference in zip board or that white stuff. What's it called that flaps?
Yeah, some of that Tyvek, and there's a lot of competing products out there. Yeah,
A few other builders have started using it in the last few years. We used to be, I would know it was one of our houses. I'd pull into the neighborhood and be like, oh, wait. People are starting to use it more, which is good for the homeowners.
I want to go back to the ventilation. You touched on something, because the insulation, so when there's spray foam insulation, there's not controversy on that, but there's just some different schools of thought on that. But you said proper ventilation. So tell me about having the foam with the proper ventilation.
Well, I think one of the things, and it's funny, foam insulation, it's really caught on lately. I mean, I think all the top builders are using foam now.
In their attic, maybe, but not fully.
Back when it was just catching on, we were one of the first builders in Tulsa to do it. We were doing those big homes over in Winmore off 109th and Sheridan. We actually had to bring in out-of-area contractors to even do it, because there were no foam contractors in Tulsa. So we've been doing the foam for a long time, and the reality is we haven't had one failure in any house we've done in over 20 years. But the ventilation is one of the key things. If the house isn't ventilated right, you could end up with moisture in the attic or something. You have to make sure all your bath fans are exhausted properly. That air exchange that we talked about before is key. We use, of course, it's our standard, we use all high performance HVAC systems. So one of the things, everything we use is a 95% or greater efficiency furnace, 17 SEER or higher ACs. But if the house gets to temperature and stays, then the air's not circulating under a traditional system, because the air doesn't need to kick on. It's already 70 degrees in here. You want that air to circulate. So we use variable speed motors in these, so the ACs will still kick on, circulate air, make sure you're getting the proper ventilation, even when the home's already at temperature. And so that's one of the things that helps control that as well.
Wow, that makes so much sense, and something I would never, ever think about.
It just comes down to being properly educated.
Right. Just like you said, an expert neurosurgeon, like you don't have to know all that stuff. You just know you're in good hands. Exactly. So then you come to the fun stuff and, you're doing design, you're picking that. So back to, taking us kind of back to the process. What does that look like? You said show your inspiration pictures, have that, again, bringing that vision to life. How does...
Really just having them come in after, the meetings we go through, and when he's doing the floor plans, we have an in-house architect team that we work with. And just once they get all of that part done, that's when I love to come in. I absolutely love just helping people do the selections. I just have a passion for it. I love real estate, but really just designing it, making sure it all flows together, that they feel comfortable with it. Sometimes it could be overwhelming for people. If you have, like you say, tile selections, it could take people 2-3 weeks to do their selections because they are overwhelmed, and they're just scared if they didn't do it before. I can literally go in and do a 5,000-6,000 square foot house within probably 2 to 3 hours with them to help them. It just saves
that's
a lot
one
of
thing
time
you
and
do.
money.
You'll go around to the stores with them if they want, and you'll make appointments and go help them to pick and guide them to, hey, let's look at this place, let's talk to this person.
Well, and give them access to places that are not open to the public. They're only open to builders, and I really enjoy it. It's special to help people build their dream home.
Expertise to sometimes where you're picking something, that, okay, that is absolutely not going to work. So to be able to give that expertise.
Yeah, that's the hard part where you have to say, well, it just won't flow. Or you just really give them another option. Say, well, see how this flows. People don't realize that everything has to go together, whether it's the paint, the backsplash, the quartz, granite, whatever countertops you want, that goes down to whether you're doing another stain on the bottom cabinets to the floor. It all has to flow, with the lighting fixtures to the plumbing fixtures to the hardware on the cabinets.
Tabitha's not scared to tell them no. She'll be
Well,
like,
I won't.
She's like,
What's
this
that
may
word?
not
I don't
look
know
great. Why don't you think of it this way? And
I don't
some
know that
people,
word, no.
some people really need that though. And she's
Well, they do.
So.
And I don't like the B word either, budget. He always puts us on a budget, but it is really important. That's another thing. Ryan, the way he communicates with everyone, like we know our allowances, and the B word, the budget. But it's good because you can still stay in budget with the budget that he gives you and stay in there and still just pick out beautiful selections to make that house their home.
And how does it work with you guys when people go over on selections and just making sure that everyone is in line with their budget? Do you have to have hard conversations sometimes, or is it like we can save here? What does that look like?
All about that. I mean, I don't know if that would be a great question for me or you, but I do know, I can say that we know if we go over budget, because once we go do the selections, like I'm familiar enough now after 15 plus years to know what section not to go to. Don't go for the marble if we have to have a different budget, but we get quotes back beforehand, and then we're able to sit down with our clients and go over them and say, okay, 9 out of 10 times we're usually pretty good because we know what areas to look at.
Well, we try to set the budget appropriately for their overall job build too. So it's like I said, you don't hire a luxury builder competing on price. So I'm not going to set your allowance. If you're building $1 million home, you're not going to have an $8,000 granite allowance because I bid the job low to get it. I'd rather bid the job if this is what it's actually going to cost you. So we try to be realistic on that. And then like Tabitha said, she's going to go over those costs as they've made selections. So that way, if they did have a $40,000 granite budget and they spent 80, well, they're going to know before they approved it. It's not like we're going to get to closing and be like, by the way, you have $300,000 in overages. Did you bring a check, or is that cash today? You don't want to have those conversations. So you have to have those conversations up front as you go and give some guidance at each step, because some of our clients have very large budgets, but regardless of your budget, everybody has one. So you want to make sure you can accommodate what their needs are as you go along.
Communication and us getting the quotes back, reviewing it with them, and saying, well, is this important to you? We do have room over here, and it's just all about communication.
Yes, and just so
transparency
important.
And being
transparency.
Honest. Another thing about the Corinthians, he's just so honest.
Yeah. And then, like you said, also, so being able to be honest, have that conversation, and be able to be candid. And also not have your feelings hurt. Like you might say, okay, this doesn't look good, but at the end of the day, they can still trump you. Right, on what?
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
This is their home. I'm just there to guide them.
Yes.
And I do all of our spec homes, like all of our parade homes right now.
Which are beautiful, and I can't wait.
You.
I cannot wait to see Pine Ridge. I want to talk to you guys about the parade
Oh, the
homes
tile
soon.
is in.
Oh,
Have you seen the tile?
I haven't seen the tile
Oh,
yet.
we did something a little different. Very
Oh.
large pieces of
yeah,
tile. And
I can't wait. I drive by that one all the time. And so.
painters are in there now. Yeah, it's gonna be beautiful. But I always do those, like we call them our spec homes or parade homes. But on the custom homes, people are sometimes, if they're interior designers or they just know what they want, or they're welcome to go and do it on their own. They all don't need help. Most of them do want help, or my opinion. Or if they're in between a few selections, they'll be like, Tabitha, what do you think about this one? And I'll give them my honest opinion. And it always worked out. We've never really had, knock on wood, a bad situation like that to where someone picked out something so terrible.
You just wonder.
like,
Sometimes you go in houses
no.
and you're like, how did that happen?
Yeah, we can't
How
put
did
our
that
sign
happen?
out here.
Yeah.
No, we've been really blessed with having some great homeowners to work with.
Yes. Well, you guys don't get specs for very long. Like they snatch them up quick. So we can hardly ever get in before you guys.
Well, now I'll give you a little bit more heads up and give
Yeah.
you some information and let you know too. He's been doing really good on posting more on social media to see. Normally, I don't do the sneak peeks as much. It's more like ta-da for the parade, but we're doing a lot of sneak peeks. Different way of doing things this year.
Are you doing one? How many parade homes are you doing?
I thought we were going to do one because one big one is plenty.
Yes.
Plenty for us to do. But Ryan, how many are we decided?
Well, I went ahead and entered 4 houses in the parade this year.
Yeah, and they're all different areas.
Well, and they're different levels and price points. So we try to show people a couple different things. Of course, we have the one over in Pine Ridge that you know about. We've got one at Forest Ridge in Artesia.
It's where it was last year. It's beautiful.
That's kind of going to be the big one for this year. That's our kind of flagship parade model. And then Pine Ridge, that's a very high-end home as well over in Jinx. So you got Jinx and Broken Arrow covered. So I did another house we have in Midtown that, if we're real honest, probably won't be ready for the parade. But it'll be in the book. And
It's
people,
a big, beautifully tore down an existing home.
the good thing about that is if somebody sees it at that time, they probably still have some time where they could pick some finishes and put a little level of customization on it to make it their own home.
It's going to be a nice location. Midtown.
What part of Midtown?
It's over off of 47th and Harvard area.
But it's nice if we, normally I don't pre-list them just for days on market, but for people like you, other realtors that know if you have a client coming in, it is nice to kind of start them beforehand, because if I haven't made all the selections yet, it's a way for them to come in, be able to do some selections to really customize it to make it their home.
Well, some people just need something a little quicker as well, so.
And we've got 4 going.
Yeah. Okay. And where's the 4th one?
It is over off of Vandalia, off basically.
The new Wind River Plaza. It's a single street. I love it. It's a cutest little neighborhood. It's the thing Ryan builds. A lot of people think, you guys only do these huge houses, and actually we build smaller houses as well. I'd say you're probably 800,000 and up.
I'd say mostly
5,000 square
that. I mean,
feet-ish up.
we do a few smaller ones here or there, and it's kind of just on a custom basis. I want to make sure that each project we take on, we can give the proper attention to. I'm personally going by every site every day, dealing with
Multiple times a day sometimes.
sometimes, yeah, for sure. And it's dealing with the clients, dealing with communication. So we do a lot of projects for people out on land and stuff, but you have to be cognizant of that when you're planning it. You don't want to take a project way out south in Mounds and then take something in Collinsville at the same time and do one way out in Creek County. And, you're spending 4 hours a day on the road between 2 or 3 projects. So that's one of those, we can't take on every build. So it's a selection factor, not just on the client side, but on our side, to make sure we can give it the proper attention of what we're building.
So am I hearing that there's times that you will turn down a job, or it's just not the right fit?
Unfortunately, sometimes we're not the right fit for everybody, and I'd rather be upfront about it. We'll both be happier, and sometimes it might have been not a personality thing. Maybe it would have been a good fit, but you're wanting to start next month, and based on where you're located, we can't really fit it in for the next 6 months. So if you want to wait, we'll be happy to, but it may not be the right fit for this time. So there's some factors into that.
It's surprising how many people call from pretty far away. South Tulsa is our little bubble. Jinx, where Pine Ridge is. Artesian Forest Ridge is Broken Arrow. That's only 30 minutes away. Wasso, you've done a lot in.
The whole metro area,
Whole
really.
metro area.
But
Midtown's hot when you can get them. Tear down a house to build a new modern one.
So are you guys always looking for the Midtown lots?
Oh, you always got to keep your
He's
eye.
looking
You
for
never know
lots everywhere.
when stuff pops up, and it's funny. Everyone's watched so much HGTV anymore. Everyone thinks they're the next flip or flop millionaire, and they'll buy these houses in Midtown that should 100% be torn down, and then they'll put 40 grand into it, thinking they flipped the house. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, they're like, well, you're gonna make an offer on it and not go look at it? I was like, yeah, I'm tearing it down. I'm sorry, but you shouldn't have put a penny into that. They just didn't know. Yes. And you feel bad in those situations, but sometimes in certain areas of town, the real estate itself is worth more than the structure that was on it.
For the midtown, for like with other neighborhoods and such, he likes to buy a lot of lots just so we have some on hand in our own inventory, because a lot of people, they don't have their own lots. Or they don't have other realtors that are helping them buy them beforehand, or having him be able to look at the ones they're looking at. So we like to have a nice little inventory of lots of our own that they can choose from and build on.
Definitely. Do you prefer like building in a subdivision in a lot, or do you prefer building on land? Do you have a preference?
Not really. We do a lot of both. That's one thing that's kind of fun about what we do on the higher end custom market. I don't think I've ever built the exact same house twice. Every project we do is a unique one-off creation that we've designed either for us to build it as a show home or for a client. So it's always different. It's always fun. And that's what makes it fun, whether you're building out on land or you're building in a subdivision. You have different challenges, different things that it just keeps it interesting. You're always doing something different every day. You're not going to the same office, sitting at the same desk, looking at the same computer screen every day. My office is the whole area.
It's exciting.
I think it is. It's exciting.
We get bored easily. And for me, I love it because I get to do all the selections for all of them, and I always make them different. Like I make usually 9 out of 10 times, like all the bathrooms are different, whether that's the granite or whether the countertops, the tile. Like I try to make it different and unique, because he's not how do you say?
Well, it's not a production build. Some of these builders, they'll let people make some choices. You've got design package A, B, or C, or you can buy it that'll be the same as this house over there to be this house over here. And, with us, it's pretty much if you can find it, if you can find a picture of it. I'm building right now for one couple that the wife is not from America, and so she's finding all kinds of pictures and stuff that stuff that doesn't exist here, and she wants to put it in her home. So that's been a challenge to try to find some of that stuff and then be able to incorporate it for them, but it keeps it interesting and makes it a fun project.
How involved, like you've got to be, because you're doing real estate too. I mean, you're going all the time too.
I have a lot of hats. I told Ryan. I'm a full-line real estate broker owner, Infinity Home Specialist. So that's my first and foremost passion. But just recently, I love doing the selections, and I've been so involved with that. So sometimes I'll list them beforehand. If not, I'm there helping him with doing the selections, even though he's fully capable to do it on his own. I love it to do it. And then I also do, depending on how many parade houses we have, I'll do the staging sometimes as well with the furniture. And then most importantly, I'll try to sell it.
But I think some of that comes into just planning and scheduling. I mean, we try not to have 14 houses at the same stage at the same time. I mean, usually we'll stagger the builds a little bit, so you're only dealing with this group of selections here and this one there. So that way I try not to overburden her too much.
Yeah, we're always pushing each other. Like I said, 1 parade house was fine this year, and here we are with 4. And it's like, okay, we can do this. We've got this.
That's some of the fun of getting to work together. I mean, I think last night we were at the office till about 8:30, but at least we're there together. I mean, there's been plenty of times where we're just door dashing food there to keep pushing through it.
Just last week, I said, I'm a little hungry. And I looked at my watch. It's like, oh my gosh, it's 8 p.m. Yeah, we should order some dinner, because I was in the middle of working on some things, and he was on his computer. I'm like, we're going to DoorDash it tonight. It's part of being entrepreneurs and business owners, and we love it. I mean, we have a passion for it, and it shows with our work. I mean, we really do. We love working together.
The dynamic is
we'll be like, I miss
really
you.
Fantastic.
Mondays are really hard. We're like, oh, I miss you too. Can I ride with you? I'm like, no, I've got too much to do over here. But we spend as much time together as we can.
Well, I think that's one of the things that we both choose to do this. I mean, we both have had other careers before. I mean, I went to school for several different things, and
yes, master's in accounting, so that's why he's really good at the numbers.
That makes sense with all the R values.
I was a CPA for back when it was like Big Five and did that and ended up going to law school and, got a doctorate in that. I'm overeducated for the builder side of it, but
It's all making
it's,
sense.
and the same thing, Tabitha's done multiple other things along the way. And we're here where we are because we actually love what we do and we're passionate about it. Not because, I am a second generation builder. My dad was a builder before me. And of course, I swore I'd never do that. And so until kind of getting into it accidentally years ago, and then really discovering I loved it, I tried to stay away from it. And that's why I went and did all that other
law in Dallas.
Yeah, I was. I had
After you graduated Cornell.
Yeah, I had a whole career doing that, and then came into this, and really just have been passionate about it and loved it ever since. So that's what, like you keep saying, our dynamic. That's what makes it fun. We're doing this because we choose to, not because we have to. It's not like we don't have a backup plan. We're doing this because it is our passion, and helping people to build their dream home is just so much fun.
Oh my goodness. I love that. I love that so much. And I know that your clients feel that. And again, it's so important. And especially when you're putting that, sometimes it's people's first $1 million home or putting, multiple millions in it. It should feel special. It should feel amazing. So I can see that, and I know that it absolutely does with you guys. And then to find out the background and, the expertise and the different education just beyond, and that you guys are here where you are. That's super cool and amazing.
Thank you. It's special. It's one of the biggest investments someone will make in their life. Yeah. So they want to make sure they do their due diligence and, research the builders, see what they're known for, what's important to you. These are people you're going to work with for almost a year or longer. And if it's a good match and people work well together, it's a good experience. And life's too short to have anything but.
I think over the years, we've ended up becoming good friends with a lot of former clients, and making friends out of clients, I think, is a good testimony in itself, that it's not like, oh my gosh, we're done. Thank goodness. I never have to talk to that person again. I've actually had a client call me before, and I'm like, something wrong with the house? I haven't heard from you. They're like, no, it just feels so weird. I haven't talked to you for like a month. And it's because up to that point, we're talking every day or multiple times a day, just so much going on. And then it's like done, and it's like, oh, we're finished.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest compliments for us, too, is that we have several clients that we've built, again, for multiple homes for. Yeah, and when they come back to you, you're like, okay, we did a good job. We're doing something good here. So that's the biggest compliment, in my opinion, I think.
We know, we didn't even touch on everything behind the walls. I can't even follow all that. But we know the houses that you guys build are absolutely amazing and completely incredible in a structural and an energy, in a living way. We know that your design is amazing. Is there anything that we haven't touched on that I haven't asked that you think would be important to talk to people about or let people know?
Oh, that's probably another loaded question. There's so many details that you can dive into, and that's where I'd really say if people are considering building, set up that first consultation, and we can kind of guide you through the process. We've tried to structure it in a way where it's easy for our clients. We're constantly developing new things. I'm even working on some checklists right now that I'm giving to new clients that, hey, check up on us, follow along in the process so you know what's going on. Try to give them as much education and ability to know what's involved and where we stand with things so they can follow along and be more excited about the process. So I think it's a lot of that. Just the more you can find out and get involved, I think makes a big difference.
Yeah, that's true. And I love that proactive check this out and the education.
On social media, he's posting quite a bit. Our website, he's rebuilt, and it has a lot of the pictures on there and information about how he builds the high-performance homes.
I think new build clients, they come in knowing some of what they want, but they don't know what they don't know. And so they don't know some of the right questions to ask. They may not know, any of the high performance things we've talked about. It's out there if you research it or really delve into it. But if you're looking at room space or game rooms or different features, you might not hit on that initially. And so you have to delve a little deeper. And so that's where if we can provide some of that guidance to the clients to help them to know there's a lot of options out there that they probably aren't even aware of. Even smart home features, we haven't even talked about that. And there's so much you can get into that, home automation and
okay, we have to get into that a little.
Okay. And one thing that we do as well, every year we go to the International Builders Show. We go all over the country and just kind of see the newest technology and what we can bring back to Tulsa. We love doing that. We always go to the New American Home, which, how much was that one? 15
Yeah, it was about
million.
15 million,
Oh,
this year.
so beautiful.
It's cool seeing some of those
So
ideas
amazing.
and what you can bring back.
But we can
and-
bring it back to our client. One year, I didn't think he was going to let me get away with it. I think I put 13, 14 light fixtures in the living room. It looked like a star.
Not
steaming
just
you up.
light fixtures, but it was like
Starburst
13
chandeliers.
chandeliers in the living room.
It was a showstopper. Absolutely stunning. And I sold it within 2 weeks.
Doesn't
Yeah,
surprise
so he lets me get away with
Yeah.
all my designs.
Well, because it works. I mean, it works. And I was going to ask where you got your inspiration. So you're always
Going
staying
to the
a step
international
ahead, like
shows,
always being on what's.
going to the other homes across the country, and the new American home is just amazing, just amazing. All top of the line, and the newest technology, and all the new shows you all the new trends, colors. They're always usually 2-3.
We do
years
get to
ahead.
travel around and look at a lot of different areas. We mentioned some of the organizations. I'm still on the board of directors for the National Home Builders Association. So we have meetings multiple times a year, and they're always in different markets. So we always go and tag along together and go look at other homes, see what people are doing in different areas. And it's fun to see. Not all of it's stuff that would work in Tulsa by any means, but it's cool to see.
And anything we can bring back, and we do try to do that for our clients too. And whenever he's in his meetings, I'm out working the shows. You're also a past president of the Home Builders Association.
Yeah, I always try to
might-
stay really involved
yeah.
in,
That
the local
separates you from the
market and how
others.
we can give back to the industry, because the industry has been really rewarding to work in for me. And so being able to participate, give back, do some of the charitable things through our HBA Charitable Foundation, and to be part of the leadership of the HBA has been a lot of fun to participate in as well.
Yeah, and the industry, like you said, the industry needs that, and being able to probably be a mentor to a lot of builders. And
It does, because the industry gets a bad name. A lot of times, if one builder does something bad, that's going to be on the news. That gets sensationalized. And then everyone's like, oh, these builders are just fly-by-night guys, or, oh, they're all crooks. And there's some of that in every industry. But I think if you look at the reputable people, that's not how the industry is. And it needs to have that representation so people know that, hey, this is a profession. It's not just a guy with a pickup truck and some tools that wants to call himself a builder. There's professionals out there. And hopefully buyers don't fall for some of these wrong ones. You always hate to see that.
A proper
fortunately, you do.
representation
Yes,
and knowledge,
yes,
and they
having.
usually don't.
Yes, so important. I was gonna say something before we go into the smart features. One of the things that I work with a lot of relocation clients, I'm sure you guys do too, they're always so surprised about the quality of Tulsa homes and what they see here, and it just blows their mind. So when you guys are traveling to other places, I mean, how do you feel about the other places you're going compared to Tulsa?
That's one thing that we really have a strong advantage in Tulsa, in this market. You get a lot of homes for your money. People can look, and of course home prices have gone up since COVID and stuff, but even you look at as close as Kansas City or Dallas, a house that's selling for $800,000 here is going to be over $1 million there. And you are getting a lot for your money in Tulsa. And so that's been a benefit that I think a lot of, especially out-of-state buyers, are surprised by how much value you can actually get in a home here in town.
And what they look like, just they're show-stopping. Some of them are a lot of houses are show-stopping.
They're coming from big cities. Be like, my condo costs as much as this, and they're excited for just some of the features, or just even the exterior with stone, stucco, and the amenities you have inside. That's why I think so many people are moving here. You get a lot of house for the money compared to some other big cities.
Well, the cost of living is affordable here.
It really
and
is. It's a good place to
there's
raise
a
a
lot
family.
of benefits to Tulsa that people, I think we've got a lot of publicity on things like the Gathering Place, and there's just so many hidden gems like that in Tulsa that people, as they're new to town, start finding out about, and that it is a great place. The schools here are good. It's a good place to raise a family, and there's a lot of draw to it other than just, oh, I can get a cheaper house. But that's like the icing on a cake. You're like, I can have all these features as well as this custom dream home.
Yes.
And so we've definitely seen a lot of people
offer.
move in from
Whether they want golf course lots like in Artesia with Forest Ridge, or if they want to be out, like Pine Ridge is the newest. It's going to be exciting. It's a good school district. A lot of people look for the school districts. I think it has a lot to offer, though, and then you get a lot for your money.
Okay, smart features. What's going on with all the smart features? Give me some wows.
I mean, that's something that changes almost on a daily basis. We've done some home automation systems, And the cost has come down. That's one of the things that's been great. When we first doing some home automation systems, we were doing some Crestron systems, some AMX systems. These systems alone were $300,000 to automate a house. I
you can
mean, those
control
houses
it
over in
all.
Winmore, those were big houses, but you can get so many of the home automation features now at a much more affordable budget. So for a few $1,000s, you can start having some lighting control features, things that you can control through apps or your phone. I mean,
It's so nice.
smart thermostats, smart lights, smart
Music.
ventilation, music.
The volume to
Yeah,
the
there's
music.
there's
You
so
can do an
many
open house.
things, and even things like integrating with Alexa now. I mean, there's a lot of features that buyers can pick from that can integrate and not cost the fortune that it used to. I mean, it used to be to have moods and schedules. You were going to be minimum spending 20, 25K and up from there. And now you can spend half of that and have a lot of the same automation features brought in. So that's pretty cool.
So different type of lifestyle. So convenient. Have everything on your phone.
What would that be? So I have my phone and I've done all the automation I wanted. What does that look like?
Go to an app.
I mean, it depends on the system,
Like the
how the
Savant-
app controls
Savant was
are.
an app.
But that's one thing that, honestly, I mentioned the Alexa thing. A lot of the apps will integrate with that. That's what we've done in our own house. It's just so much easier than even pulling out your phone. Be like, Alexa, turn on the kitchen cans, and it does.
Alexa, turn on the entry lights.
Yeah, it does.
We even do it for all of our Christmas.
Yeah.
Alexa, turn on Santa.
You can automate about anything now, and it's like I
The
said,
thermostat.
not that expensive to do it. And you can set pre-programmed routines for exterior lighting, security lighting. You tie it in with the security system. So if you have an interior motion gets tripped or something when the alarm's set, you can have all the exterior lights turn on. So it makes it easy for the police to find the house. And there's a lot of integrations that just make life more simple.
The lights come on their own. They turn off. We want them to. It's convenient.
And extra and amazing. Okay, let's switch back. Well, is there anything else that we didn't talk about? I'm going to switch to actual talking about Tulsa, but as far as building, anything else that we should add that we haven't touched on? Things not to do, things to do, number one tip, anything? We've talked about a lot.
Just do your due diligence. Research your builder. Go to their website. Talk to them face to
Yeah.
face. And then you'll see if it's a good match. It's a big decision.
Well, I think
A lot of money.
that's
Pick the right one.
well, I think that's the key. Picking the right one based on their skill level and comfort with their product that they're putting out, as well as the relationship that you've developed with them versus trying to look based on price. I think that's the biggest mistake. I've had people come in that you could tell they were a price shopper, and they're like, "Oh, I'm looking at 3 different builders," and I'm like, so at some point I feel like, just tell me the names of who you're looking at. And if they tell me the 3 names, I'm like, go with that guy. And they're like, what? I'm like, he's going to be the cheapest. I know the Tulsa builders well enough to tell you, and you're clearly shopping on price. Well, no, I don't want to pick on price, but you just told me you did because you're getting price bids. And it's so easy for builders that are in that price game. They'll manipulate their quotes to win those prices, and we're just not in that game. So if somebody's really looking for a good experience, wanting a true custom build, they need to pick based on the product they're seeing, the skill level of the builder, and then the relationship, not a price game.
If not, we'll gladly refer them the best way we can. Because time is money. You don't want to waste it. We don't want to waste ours, and we don't want them to waste theirs.
And it's so true. It's so true. Okay, let's switch gears to Tulsa because, again, a lot of our viewers are just researching Tulsa for the first time. What are your favorite restaurants, favorite place to take the kids? What are your favorite things about Tulsa?
Favorite restaurant, I love mahogany. I love steak and seafood.
Well, I think of Tulsa local restaurants. I mean, like ITR for sushi, that's always fun.
Yes, on the hill and downtown they have.
I mean, I'm Tulsa native. I was born here, grew up here, went to school here, so at least through high school. So I've watched a
Remembers
lot of
everything.
things come and go over the years. But that's one thing that Tulsa used to not have a lot of those features that were the draw. And I think, I mentioned the Gathering Place earlier. That's one of those things that people don't realize that's such a nationally recognized thing that we have here that I think some people in Tulsa take some of those things for granted because they just don't realize that not a lot of cities have this kind of thing. So we've got that. We've been doing a lot of revitalization downtown. There's more restaurants. There's more entertainment coming back to those
coming more
areas.
alive.
So
Speaking
There's
of
a lot of,
restaurants downtown, we love the Bowl in the Alley. It's a little hidden gem.
you can tell Tabitha's a steak lover.
I'm with you. I'm
Steak
with
or
you.
seafood, because I was raised in Florida, so I love seafood as well. But downtown really has got quite a nightlife. With even Tulsa Drillers, when they're in season, In the Raw is right there. They do the fireworks. After the game, it's really cool to see if you're out on the patio.
Yeah.
It may not be everyone's speed, but like museum-wise, we have several really high-end local museums, whether Gilcrease or Philbrook, that the art that's represented here in Tulsa, even the local art scene that we have here, is really something nationally that you don't get everywhere. That it is something that, if that's your thing, there's really opportunities there to explore that as well.
Yeah, I think Tulsa is. I remember downtown Tulsa when I was in high school, and it was just sketch a little bit, and it has come so far, and it is just, there's so many things to do, so much local music. Like you said, the local art, downtown, midtown, just very cool.
Yeah, there is a lot of live music. And they're building that out there in Broken Arrow. They're building that. Yes, we drive by that quite often. We go to Artesia out in Forest Ridge, but that's going to be huge. That's going to be so good for Broken Arrow.
That is. I think I was reading, I can't even remember the number, but billions in revenue for the city.
Yes. And one nice thing, too, in Tulsa, like we were mentioning all the different cities, whether it's Broken Arrow, Owasso, Jenks, you can get to any of them within 15, 20, 30 minutes at the most if you're on the one side to the other, and that's what's convenient too.
That's a great point. It's not like it's Dallas where to drive across town it might take you an hour and a half. Even if you lived in Jenks or Broken Arrow and you wanted to go downtown to a Drillers game, your 20-minute drive maybe. You can enjoy everything that the community has to offer without a lot of just time behind the wheel and having that windshield time.
That's one nice thing about Tulsa for sure.
Yeah, just an
Being within
ease.
20, 30
yes.
minutes.
Yeah, our grid system is cool. Okay, favorite date night?
Every night's date night.
Well, not those work nights.
Well,
but
it's either we call it date night in or date night out. Depends on how tired we are, what season it is. Is it Parade of Homes season? We usually always try to go out Friday night for date night out. Or if we'll go out with another couple and with our friends on Saturday night, but we don't hog each other.
Getting into the spring season, we like to do places with patio. That's always fun. We went
Yes.
to Waterfront
Live
the other
music.
night.
We did go to
Or
Waterfront.
places with live music. That's always fun. So
That's nice. We love live music. Maggie's has some good live music. Out there in Jenks, Maggie's.
Oh, yes, I like
And then
Maggie's.
we went and ate. Where did you take me for my birthday? This last month. The City Hall, I think it's called.
Yeah,
It's
that was a
newer
new one in
restaurant
Jenks, so.
in Jenks called City Hall. They have good food.
Lots of good stuff going on. All right, well, I appreciate you guys. I know you're
thank you.
super busy with all your houses, your 4 parade homes, and all
Pray
the
for me.
customs. Yes, thank you for joining us. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
And
Thank you
it
for
was
having
great
us.
to learn so much.
thanks for
It's a
having
lot
us. It's
to-
been
it's a lot
fun.
to learn.
All right.
Thank you.